The increase in human population and urbanization has led to a decrease in agricultural land. However, passion-driven farmers are still able to find ways of practicing small-scale farming. Dairy farming is one of the types of farming where space is not a limit. On today's episode of Sheep and Goats, we travel to Kirinyaga County, 28 kilometers from Kerogoya town in Mogambashiora location. We meet Simon Wario, a vibrant young farmer. When we arrived at his farm, we found him preparing fodder for his dairy goats. Wario started practicing agriculture 5 years ago, where he farmed a few cows and pigs on his quarter-acre piece of land. After some time, he decided to do away with the pigs to focus on goat rearing and cows for milk production.
I do dairy farming, specifically dairy goat milk. I deal with dairy goat milk and cow milk. I started this venture 5 years ago, and it was after I had a lot of trouble and pain acquiring milk for my children. You see, this area, people have very big shambas, but they rarely think about cattle farming. So I told myself, why not give it a try? And 5 years ago, I started it. I started with one goat, and this is the far that I have come.
Simon's major interest on his farm is dairy goat production. This was after he sold his first liter of dairy goat milk to a neighbor, and he realized that the price was higher than that of a cow's milk.
My motivation behind it was, one, there was severe shortage of milk in this place, and secondly, I just wanted to do something new. Having come from town, never have we done this in our home, and I took it as a challenge and thought, why can I not do it as the rest are doing it? So I entered into this thing as a greenhorn. I had no idea. I was to learn through the job, and it has been well. It has been proceeding well, and I cannot regret as to why I began it.
Simon's venture into dairy goat takes us back in the days when barter trade was the only form of trade. He tells us of how his friend offered him an alpine goat breed in exchange of a piglet. At first, he was reluctant to take the goat, but decided to take his first risk as a farmer. Simon later realized his interest in goat farming, and this led him to buy 2 other goats. From 3 goats, Simon has managed to breed and multiply the stock to 12 alpine goats on his farm.
I started small. In fact, it was just by coincidence to start goat farming. I started small, not with a German alpine. It was a cross of I don't know which breeds, but it was just a coincidence, because having not done this thing before, after I got that goat, it gave birth. I had a buck and a goat, and when it gave birth, I taught myself how to milk with that goat. And I saw at the first milking in the morning, it gave me a liter. In the evening, it gave me a liter, and I thought, wow, what if I get to do 3, 4, 5? And that is how I began. When that goat gave birth, I acquired another one, and from the 2, this is where I've got it. I was saying it was a coincidence. It was just, I stumbled on this thing because I began with pig farming. The sheds that you're seeing here, they're full of pigs. Then it's a story. A lad from the village just across here came, and the pigs had just given birth, and they were good piglets. He told me, Wario, I don't have money, but I have a goat kid, a female goat kid. Why don't we exchange with one piglet? And he kept on nagging me on that. I thought, why not give it a try? It was not, okay, why not just give it a try? I told him, let's do it. He gave me the goat kid. Then came another customer. He wanted 2 piglets. And he told me, Wario, I see you have a doe you cannot do this thing of goats without a back. You will never know when it's on heat. Can you know when it's? I had no idea when it so I told him this. I did not even want to rear this thing. It was just somebody just nagged me, and I don't want any back. So after he continually nagged me, I thought, let me just give it a try, and he did that. And from there, the rest is history. Here I am now. After the pig production, the pigs started failing because the brokers were buying them at throwaway prices. Luckily, I had something to fall on, and it was the goats. But then I had started selling goat milk that I was selling around 1.5 liters per day, and I thought, what if this thing multiplies? I could be still in business.
Goat rearing requires a relatively smaller space for production, making them a great venture for both urban and peri-urban areas. Goat rearing promises good returns on investment than any other livestock. This is because goat milk is highly nutritious, hence high demand.
The farming is quite easy. They don't require so much input. All that is required is you have a good good housing for the goats. Make sure that the floor has some space for the litter to drop, and make sure that it is well roofed so that when it is sunny, the goat is not affected. When it is raining, the goat is not affected. With the spacing, just make sure that each cubicle for the goat is around 2.5 feet and by 4 feet. Height, let it not be less than 5 feet. Then you put on you feed the feeding trap. Every goat has its own specific needs, and that is why we prefer putting every goat in its own cubicle. By doing this, it becomes easier to monitor every goat, whether it is eating, whether it's not drinking milk, you can't be able to trace any problem with any goat at any time. Secondly, when you are farming these goats, it is good to go for a good breed and have some target as you are doing it. Because like me, I'm dealing with milk. So whatever I do, my target is milk. So when I'm breeding, I breed focusing on increasing the production of milk, not just having a big number of goats. With the market for the milk, we are very nearby the town. The Embu town is just across the river. That is where we have our markets. Though there are some challenges because we have some unpassable roads when it rains, and the electricity has not yet come to this place, so we are just a bit limited.
There are several goat breeds in Kenya. These are the Toggenburg, Alpine, Nubian, Saanen, Gala, and the small East African goat. Alpine goat breeds originated from the French Alps. They are medium to large size and are very hardy animals that can adapt in any climate. They have varied color coats with shades of grey, brown, black, red buff, and combinations. They have a pronounced mane in both male and female. They may or may not have horns. The Alpine goat is a breed for milk with an average yield ranging from 2.5 to 4 liters depending on management. The female Alpine goat weighs from 50 to 60 kilograms, while a buck weighs from 65 to 80 kilograms. Simon shares more about his choice of breed.
Okay, I'm doing German Alpine and Kenya Alpine. There are two varieties here. Why the breeds? Because for one, the Alpines have a high twinning rate. Second, their production of milk is a bit sustainable. They don't just get to the peak and then drop all of a sudden. There is some level of production that they are able to maintain, a respectable level of production. Thirdly, they grow big in size. 4, they are quite adaptable to many sorts of climates. Come the cold climates, the hot climates, the warm climates, they adapt very well, and they are quite hardy.
Goats are good scavengers, and as a result, they are able to withstand drought seasons. They consume a wide variety of grasses, weeds, and small branches of bushes and trees. They also consume leftover vegetables, fruits, and other crop residues. Simon feeds his goats with shrubs and grasses 3 times a day and supplements with mineral salts and commercial feeds.
With feeding goats, it's one of the easiest things that you can do because goats feed on almost every shrub that you know of. So I cannot just mention all of them, but most of the available shrubs around here and grass, I feed on them. And I feed them I feed them thrice per day. I fill these traps 3 times per day, and that should be enough for the goat for 24 hours. We do give them mineral salts, the salt licks, the ones that we are milking, we give them feed concentrate, the dairy meal, the usual one that we give to cows. That is what we feed those that we are milking on. Yeah.
Good housing keeps the goats healthy. Some of the most important things to check include a raised floor to keep the goats dry, a proper draining roof, and an easy way to clean feed trough. Simon confesses that his goat's shed did not cost him much as he built it himself. He advises that when a farmer wants to venture into goat keeping on a budget, they should construct the house using the most available materials and affordable ones such as timber and mabati.
Let's start with materials. Use the locally available materials. If you see what I've used the timber. For every cube for the goats should be around the span. The wind should be around 2.5 feet, not less than 2.5 feet. The length should be 4 feet. Height should not less. The shorter side should not be less than 5 feet. Why? Because goats love standing on their hind feet, and most of the time you'll find them, if they have some access to the roof, they'll keep on hitting the roof, and eventually the roof will be torn. The side that the shed should face, it should not face the direction from which the wind is coming from. And if it will face that side, there should be some obstruction to that wind. And it is also good for the goats to have some few minutes or almost an hour of sunshine. So it is good that it faces either to the sunset or to the sunrise. It was not more than 20K because most of the timber I got it from my shamba. So it was not quite expensive. It did not go more than 20K.
We are taking a short commercial break, but we will be back with more.